In 2016, scientists reported that the average person consumes one credit card's worth of microplastics in a year. What do you think that is 10 years later? One every 6 months? One every 3 months? One credit card a month? No, it is one credit card every week. That is 4 a month and 52 credit cards worth of plastic in a year. This is how much that is. That's crazy, isn't it? And yeah, we know about plastic pollution and all that other bullshit, but what is so bad about plastic? You see, plastic is made out of chemicals called BPAs or bisphenols. And when you consume anything which is covered in plastic or which is partly made out of plastic, it goes into your body because plastic is a very shitty material. You see, when anything makes contact with the plastic sheds and goes into the whatever is inside. Like for example, you have a plastic water bottle and you have water inside of it, right? The plastic is such a shitty and unstable material that tiny bits, smaller than a grain of salt, go into the water and you cannot even see them, you cannot taste them because it is weird. They're so small that you cannot even taste them, right? They're tasteless. And you consume these microplastics every single day. And when you consume them, they're made out of chemicals, as I said, and these chemicals get absorbed into your body, and then they attach to your estrogen receptors inside every single cell. You see, estrogen is the female hormone, which is gonna make you develop more like a female. So you're gonna have the signs of, bigger titty mass, like man boobs. You're gonna be infertile. You're not gonna be able to have kids. You're not gonna be able to have any sperm, which is, the basis for any society. Humanity is gonna fucking die because of this shit, because of these modern chemicals. And when these chemicals attach to your estrogen receptors, then they're gonna be producing that estrogen, which is again the female hormone, for months, even years in some cases. And this is gonna give you a small dose, sort of like in Minecraft, when you accidentally get the poison effect on you. You don't necessarily get all the damage instantly, right? But you get it throughout a longer period of time. This is the same thing with these endocrine disrupting chemicals. Endocrine disruptors are basically the phrase used for such compounds because endocrine and your endocrine system means your hormonal system, and these disturb it. They lower your testosterone, the male hormone, increase your estrogen, and this is very bad for humanity. This could even lead to the end of humanity. It's not going to be AI, it's not going to be aliens, it's not going to be a fucking nuclear fallout. It's going to be this. The men are not going to be able to have any sperm, and therefore they're not going to be able to have any kids. And the women are going to be way more masculine, and they're going to act more as leaders, which is fucked up because that's not how society is supposed to work, right? And even if you're still not going to be able to have kids. So scientists also observed that 1 in 5 men are infertile. And that is because testosterone levels are dropping by 1% every year. You see, if you grab a group of, for example, 18-year-old guys from, let's say 50 years ago, then their testosterone levels will be somewhere around 700, for example, right? But if you grab those same guys, not the same ones, but the same amount of guys who are the same age today, then their testosterone would be 50% lower, and even more because, the compounding effect. So it would realistically be like 55 or 60% lower than it was. And this is terrible because how is humanity supposed to continue if the average person has so much plastic in them? It's, fucking crazy. As well as the statistic which says that 50% of all plastic on Earth has been manufactured in the last 15 years. And this is crazy. By this rate, we're gonna be a planet which is full of plastic. We're not gonna be the blue planet anymore. We're gonna be the fucking clear planet, the translucent planet in 50, 100 years if you don't stop this. Humanity is gonna go extinct. All the other animals are gonna be extinct. You see these images of turtles eating plastic bags in the ocean and a fucking fish choking on plastic straws. Yeah, that is very bad, right? But what about us? We're not gonna be able to have any kids. Humanity is gonna die out, And look around you, anything that you look at is made out of plastic. Like, look at this computer mouse over here, made out of plastic, right? Look at my fucking headphones, made out of fucking plastic, right? Look around on your fucking mouse pad, made out of plastic. The plastic bottle that you drink out of, plastic. The clothes you have on, look at the tag. It's gonna say polyester, which is a type of fabric which is made 100% out of recycled plastic, right? And as I said, plastic is unstable, so when you wear polyester clothes, it's gonna absorb into you. They did a study in, I believe, 1993, where they put dogs and they put polyester underwear onto them for like 2 months, and guess what? The dogs became infertile. Dogs couldn't have any kids, right? And even after they took it off, it took a lot of time for them to get back in their natural state. And that's just dogs, right? Dogs don't touch as much plastic as humans. It's way worse for us. And the thing is, a lot of influencers is gonna say, yeah, this is your fault, you should do this, do that. But bro, how is it our fault if we cannot influence the fucking world? We cannot influence what companies make their shit out of. They just want to make as much profit as they possibly can, even if it means destroying humanity, right? But yeah, it's not your fault that you're fucking infertile and you cannot have kids, but it's your responsibility to fix that. So what are some ways that we can fix this to avoid as much microplastics in our life as we can? So first things first, I recommend you look at your underwear. That includes your boxers, and for ladies, your panties, your bras, anything really, and not just underwear, clothes in general, and see if the tag says polyester or nylon or any poly material. That means it's made out of plastic, so throw it out immediately and switch it out for natural substances or natural materials such as wool, cotton, silk, and so on. Then the second best thing you can do is stop drinking from plastic water bottles immediately, because every time when you have a plastic container and you have water or any liquid inside of it, as I said, it's gonna shed into that liquid. So throw it out immediately. Buy something which is called a reverse osmosis filtration system with active charcoal. This is gonna cost you around $400, and this is gonna filter out all the birth control, all the microplastics from your water. Because you see, the average person consumes 52 credit cards a year worth of plastic, right? And this is the same dose as what women take in fucking birth control. The pill is supposed to make them not be able to have any kids by increasing their estrogen through the roof. And the same thing is happening to you. And when these women take the normal birth control, not accounting for the microplastics, but they just take the pill, right? And then go to the toilet, they piss it out. And guess what? The filtration facilities, yeah, they filter out all the dirt, they filter out all the bullshit in the water, but they don't filter out hormones, because hormones are way smaller than any piece of dirt, any shit, bacteria. So that ends up in your drinking water. So just buy the fucking filtration system. Then when you think you're being healthy by drinking tea, you're not healthy. You see, tea bags are made out of a material which is half paper and half plastic. So when you put boiling hot water onto these tea bags, they release up to 9 billion microplastics into your cup. So that is very bad. Instead of that, just grab the fucking bag, stir it open with scissors, and the insides, pour them into like a metal strainer and put the water in it that way. This is gonna improve your levels way better than anything else that you can do. And those pyramid ones, those are way worse than just normal tea bags. Throw those out immediately, or just when you want to drink the tea, as I said, cut up the top and just put them into this strainer, this filter, right? Then the next thing you can do is look at your kitchen. Do you have a plastic cutting board? Look at the kitchen, right? If it's made out of plastic, and the thing that your mom chops vegetables on, onions, anything, and it has white streaks on it, do me a favor, throw it out immediately. And when you look at it and you do this with the plastic cutting board, you're gonna see little plastic on your finger. What do you think happens when somebody's chopping shit on that? You see, every time you chop whatever on it, let's say vegetables or meat, where do you think it goes? It's going into your fucking food. You eat it, it's tiny particles. This is gonna be a very hard journey. You have to avoid basically anything which is made out of plastic, right? It's not gonna be easy because plastic is in everything. Even when you, for example, go to Starbucks or McDonald's and you want to buy some hot coffee and you get those paper cups, right, like this, they're not actually made out of paper, because what would happen if you were to put hot or any liquid into a paper cup? It would seep through, right? But this is why they put a plastic lining inside of it. And when you put hot coffee into these cups, guess how many microplastics go into the cup? Up to 9 billion microplastics in every single fucking cup. So just don't fucking drink out of those. Don't drink tea bags. Don't wear polyester. Avoid contact with plastic as much as possible. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a very hard journey, but it's gonna be very rewarding, because truly humanity is gonna die out if we don't fucking take these things seriously. We have to avoid plastic as much as possible. It's gonna be detrimental for humanity. This is how humanity is gonna end. It's not gonna be AI, it's not gonna be robots, it's not gonna be a nuclear war, it's gonna be this. And if you want to see more content on this topic, check out my other videos and like the video, subscribe, comment for the algorithm, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye, and click on this.